All right, if you're learning Spanish, I can almost guarantee you've hit this wall. Two verbs, saber and conocer, that both seem to mean to know. But when do you use which? It is without a doubt one of the most common mix-ups for learners. But don't worry, by the end of this explainer, you are going to have this down cold.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to pinpoint why this is even a problem. Then we'll break down saber and conocer one by one. After that, we'll put them head to head, which is where it really clicks. And finally, I'll leave you with a super simple cheat sheet to take with you. Let's do it. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the matter. You know, in English, our verb to know is a workhorse. It does everything. We use it for knowing a person, knowing a fact, knowing how to ride a bike. Spanish, on the other hand, is way more precise. It actually splits that big idea into two totally separate kinds of knowledge. And this, right here, is the golden rule. You have to get this into your head right now. They are never, ever interchangeable. Once you really accept that these two verbs live in completely different universes, you're honestly halfway to mastering them. They're not two flavors of the same thing. They're tools for two different jobs. You know what? This single slide is basically the whole secret. Here's a little mental test you can run. If you can rephrase your sentence in English with to know that or to know how to, you're going to use saber. But if you can swap in phrases like to be familiar with or to be acquainted with, then you need conocer. It's a fantastic litmus test. And if you need a quick metaphor to make it stick, think of it like this. Saber is for knowledge you keep in your head. We're talking facts, data, information, skills. Conocer, on the other hand, is for knowledge you've gained through real-world experience, familiarity, personal acquaintance. So just remember, head versus experience. All right, let's zoom in on our first verb, saber. Think of this as your go-to for anything that's a specific piece of information, the kind of stuff you could look up in a book, learn in a class, or just plain memorize. So we really use saber for three main jobs. First, for straight-up facts and information. Second, for knowing how to do something, like a skill. And third, and this is a really cool little twist, we use it in the past tense to talk about the exact moment you found something out. So its most common job is for facts. The time, a phone number, the capital of Peru, the answer to a question, these are all just pieces of data. They're quantifiable bits of information that you either know or you don't. It's that clear cut. Now, this one is a fantastic clue. Anytime you're talking about a skill, how to swim, how to drive, how to cook, you'll use saber, followed directly by another verb in its infinitive form. So it's saber cocinar, saber hablar español. The how-to is just built right into the meaning of saber in this case. It's a dead giveaway. Okay, let's completely switch gears and talk about conocer. This verb is about a totally different kind of knowing. It's not about data points in your brain. It's about familiarity. It's the knowledge you get from direct, personal experience with people, places, or things. And the three big buckets for conocer are people, places, and things. See the theme here? You can't just read about these in a book to really know them in the conocer sense. You have to actually meet the person. You have to visit the city. You have to listen to the music. Now listen up, because this is a huge grammatical point. When you use conocer with a person, you absolutely have to use this little word a. It's called the personal a, and it signals that direct connection. It's what makes the difference between knowing of someone versus actually knowing them. And for places and things, like the city of Madrid or a particular book, using conocer means you've got some personal familiarity with it. You've been there, you've walked the streets, you've read that book, you've engaged with it, you've experienced it, which is so much deeper than just knowing the fact that it exists. Okay, this is my favorite part. The theory is one thing, but seeing these two verbs go head-to-head with the exact same subject, well, that's when the light bulb really goes on. Just look at this. It's brilliant. On the left, sé quién es Shakira. You're stating a fact that you have in your head. You can identify her. But on the right, conozco a Shakira. Whoa, that's a totally different claim. You're saying you have a personal relationship, that you've met her. See the difference? Worlds apart. Let's try it with a place. Sé dónde está París. That means you can point to France on a map. It's pure head knowledge. But conozco París. That means you've felt the city, you've walked its streets, you've been in its cafes. You're familiar with it on a personal, experiential level. And check this out, this is so cool. In the simple past tense, the meaning of both verbs gets even more specific. Supe doesn't just mean I knew, it means I found out, the exact moment that fact entered your head. And conocí doesn't just mean I knew, It means I met, the very first moment you became acquainted with someone. It's just so precise. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So now let's boil it all down into a few simple tools that you can actually use, in a real conversation to make the right choice every single time without even thinking about it. Just run through this little mental checklist. Ask yourself, am I talking about a fact or a piece of data? If yes, it's saber. Am I talking about a skill, how to do something? Again, saber. Is it a person I'm acquainted with? Ah, that's conocer. A place I've been or a thing I'm familiar with? That's conocer too. It's a super fast process of elimination. And here is an even faster way to lock it in. Saber starts with S, and it's for specifics, like facts, figures, and skills. Conocer starts with C, and it's for connections, to people, places, and things. Specifics versus connections. That is a killer little memory trick right there. And this table just puts everything we've talked about in one clean spot. You've got the verb, what it's used for, the little clue to look for, and a perfect example. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is this simple. Facts and skills belong to saber. People, places, things, all of your personal experiences and connections, they belong to conocer. So there you have it, and I'll leave you with that question. Do you now conocer the difference? Are you familiar with the concept? And do you now saber how to use them? Do you have the specific knowledge to get it right? I'm hoping the answer is a big, confident yes.